Hey yo, I'm Deliria. I'm a recovering addict who makes content so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. I've just had some information come across my desk, and boy, when I tell you that smile I had was fucking infectious, I mean it, bro. I haven't seen many, if any, videos even talking about this subject, so I'd like to introduce to you the opioid receptors. Why are you so excited about opioids? It's not conventional opioids I'm talking about. When we think of opioids, we think of the shit that clinics give us for pain. We think of lean in pop culture, perks. But I'm not talking about these, and what I'm about to say might be a little hard to process. I'll try my best. Everything that I just mentioned works on the MU opioid receptors. I'll just call it MU. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but this receptor is the one that gives you euphoria, therefore a high. So I want to pull your attention away from the MU opioid receptor, and I want to talk about the kappa receptor. What does the kappa receptor do? The kappa receptor is the brain's anti-reward pathway, which is a bad thing. It acts as a stop sign for your dopamine's reward system. This results in dysphoria, which makes you feel uneasy and just generally unhappy. Kappa plays a part in opioid withdrawal, and there's reports that show the activation of kappa, and it's why it's so unpleasant mentally, and sometimes even why you hallucinate. A kappa agonist is salvia. Salvinorin A works on the kappa receptors, and it's the reason for the hallucinations and even some of the dissociation. So when I say a KOR, I'm talking about the kappa opioid receptor. So when we take a KOR antagonist, which basically just binds to the receptor and blocks any agonist from activating it, or just anything at all from activating it. So since it's an antagonist, it reverses it and it restores the dopamine pathways. This results in stress relief, and we have the ability to stop drug-seeking behavior as well as chronic boredom and hedonia, which is a big thing that I struggled with when I quit drugs, and even now, being not too long sober again is pretty bad, you know? So when I hear something that can restore pleasure back to my life, stop the anhedonia, I want that shit, bro. I want that shit. There's already medications that block the opioid receptors to prevent any relapses, basically just making you sick if you do take it. Precipitated withdrawal is what this is called, and these medications are like naltrexone. But if we have naltrexone, then why the fuck do you need KOR antagonists? This shit fake news, huh? Is what I would say if I was a fucking brainlet. So I want to focus on the non-peptide KOR antagonist, JDTIC. This is not FDA approved yet, and there's very little studies even shown on this, but enough to get to the general gist of what it does. The difference between JDTIC and naltrexone lays in the mechanisms and the receptors, the duration, and generally just what clinicians applicate it to. JDTIC has extreme affinity to the kappa receptor, so it binds very heavily to it. This is compared to the low affinity of the kappa receptor in naltrexone. This results in it lasting a hell of a lot longer. Naltrexone lasts 24 to 36 hours, rough estimate. JDTIC lasts upwards of 2 to 4 weeks. That's a long time. Naltrexone doesn't really aim to patch the chronic boredom associated when you quit hard drugs. JDTIC, again, is a KOR antagonist, so it blocks stress-induced behaviors, which was a big problem I personally had when I was in rehab and on naltrexone. Just didn't really help with that, and when I got out, obviously you have to credit the person, but the medication didn't really do its purpose and its job for me, and it might help some people. Personally, didn't work for me. To boil it down, naltrexone's more of a I physically cannot use, otherwise I will be puking my guts out at 2 a.m. in the back of an AutoZone, and JDTIC is more of a neurological stabilizer. At this current moment, we don't really know if JDTIC or really any KOR antagonist causes precipitated withdrawal like naltrexone does and things similar to that. I think once this gets FDA approved, or even more testing, more reports coming out, this could absolutely shatter the world of addiction. I'm kind of excited. When I learned about this, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I started researching it. It was fucking awesome. Stay safe, practice harm reduction, and I'll catch y'all. Peace.